As the Batman of the Marvel Universe, it comes as no huge surprise that Iron Man is the man when it comes to outsmarting people. A potent mix of unreal tech skills, genuine tactical wit, and an ability to overprepare for every situation means that Tony Stark is not only ready for any scenario, but he's also planned an intricate way to win it. While it's always interesting to see how he reacts when these plans fail, just as it is funny to see Josh and Zoe repeatedly mispronounce Darkseid and Mr. Mixelplick, it's sometimes far more interesting to see what happens when they succeed. As his almost ludicrous plans, like mind-wiping the whole planet or rebooting a brain off a floppy disk, channel all of the wonderful craziness of comics in the best possible way. Better yet, it genuinely doesn't feel out of character for Iron Man to carry any of this off because he's Iron Man. So it's actually less weird the more elaborate his plans are. So, I'm Ewan, this is What Culture Comics, and here are 10 times Iron Man outsmarted everyone. Number 10, fighting Jim Rhodes. Seeing Tony Stark totally outdo his replacement, James "Rhodey" Rhodes, who is in Tony's suit and who has significantly greater capabilities as a result of this, is one of the most masterfully executed fight scenes in the history of the character. Having the rightful Iron Man one-up a far stronger opponent surely because he knows the Iron Man suit so well is a genius way for the fight to go down, and shows that, even without the suit on, Tony is now and forever Iron Man at heart. Add to this the fact that Stark had taken time off being Iron Man because of his issue with alcoholism, and him managing to outsmart his replacement is even more impressive. It suggests that, even when he's not at peak performance, Tony is still more than capable of outwitting even people who are significantly stronger than him. Number 9, mind-wiping the Earth. If there's one thing Tony Stark is unlikely to do, it's to look a gift horse in the mouth when given an opportunity. This is why, when presented with Mentallo's global mind-controlling device, the hero uses it to wipe any and all memory of Tony Stark being Iron Man from the world at large. It's a clever way to have the character go incognito as a superhero again, while also showing his ability to think on the fly, as Mentallo's device was definitely not made with that in mind. However, the impact is considerable on those close to Iron Man, and when he re-reveals his identity, they are forced to confront the fact that he has messed with their actual memories, which creates more than a few tensions between the hero and his loved ones. Number 8, escaping the GODKILLER armor. What's the one thing worse than being attacked by a mammoth suit of life-threatening armor named the GODKILLER? Well, realizing that you're trapped in the spaceship-sized machine as it tries to explode you within it, that's what. And that's also exactly the situation that Iron Man finds himself in by issue 16 of the 2013 Iron Man comic. Despite having no way to understand any of the controls, or even any way to find out, as the system works entirely in a long-forgotten alien language, Stark is able to not only safely escape the ship intact, but to also manage to take with him the unconscious body of an android that he'd had to try and fight, while simultaneously working all of this out on the fly. Oh, and he manages all of these shenanigans while a second, different robot assassin hunts him through the ship, so it's a pretty good day's work in the outsmarting department, all in all. Number 7, building Spider-Man a new suit in Civil War. Civil War shows off both Iron Man and Captain America's respective smarts, with Cap managing to escape capture while wearing a bright blue suit, and with Tony managing a surprisingly effective attempt at warding off half of Earth's most powerful heroes in his fights against the anti-registration forces. Of all these shared clever moments, the most effective is actually one of the most understated, in Tony building a new stealth suit for Spider-Man, aware that the opposing heroes won't expect an attack from a stealth Spidey. Thus, when the two warring parties fight, the battle goes as Tony predicted it, with Captain America and his allies focusing on Stark, allowing Spider-Man a proper chance at a sneak attack. While you'd initially expect that Iron Man would beef his own suit up first and foremost, the billionaire genius understands that he will be the focus of any attack, and so instead focuses on what will give his team a strategic advantage overall. Number 6, the HULKBUSTER armor. Every good team has one member who is both willing and capable of taking out all the other members. The Justice League has Batman, the Fantastic Four has Reed Richards, the X-Men have Wolverine. The list goes on and on. For the Avengers, this person is unmistakably Iron Man, as ever since Tony built the first HULKBUSTER suit in Iron Man number 300, the Green Beast of Rage has had one sure way of being neutralized should he ever go rogue. While it's not entirely difficult to outsmart the Hulk when he's in full rage mode, the premise of building something powerful enough to take him out involves outsmarting pretty much everyone else who's tried before. And the armor isn't just useful against the Hulk. In the new Ultimates, Tony uses the suit to help fight Thor after he turns against the team. So, in essence, the Hulkbuster suit is more of a one-size-fits-all solution to try and take down anyone who is out of Iron Man's regular power range, including his own teammates. Number 5. Beating Magneto. Fighting a man who can bend metal to his will while in a suit made entirely of iron would be genuine suicide for pretty much anyone else. Anyone, that is, except Iron Man himself. Because in Avengers vs. X-Men, Tony goes up against Magneto and manages against all logical odds to win the fight. Admittedly, Iron Man is perhaps over-prepared for this exact scenario, with carbon nanotubes in his suit to protect against Magneto's abilities, and a casual 2 million magnets on his person to throw at Magneto to mess with his powers by surrounding him with shrapnel. But this preparation allows him to one-up Magneto all the same. With Eric being undeniably one of the universe's strongest mutants, it's undeniably impressive that someone without powers of any kind is able to defeat him through sheer preparation, well, and being able to find and purchase over 1 million magnets just in case. Number 4. The Extremis app. Although the deed is carried out by an unmistakably evil Iron Man, the creation of the Extremis app does result in Tony outsmarting pretty much everyone, just in a more dastardly way than usual. Extremis gave its users a perfect physical appearance and, in its initial free phase, was naturally snapped up by the vast majority of the population. The trick behind this, however, is that this free period was temporary, and that after that, users were required to pay $99.99 a day in order to keep up their facade. The whole plan is downright fiendish, but it's also dazzlingly effective. In getting basically the world addicted to something that only Stark has control of, he also gains control over them, letting him do basically whatever he wants in exchange for providing people with their newest addiction. It's unsettling to see the beloved billionaire being so downright evil, yeah, that's for sure, but it's also a potent reminder of just how capable Tony would be of taking over the world were it not for him actually having some morals, somewhere in the regular Marvel universe. Number 3. Armor Wars. The entire Armor Wars series is the epitome of what makes Iron Man so great, in showing that his engineering abilities are actually far outweighed by his ability to outwit people. The series sees Iron Man discover that the designs for his suit have been stolen, and used to create similar suits that are being used by criminals, which sparks what can only be called unbridled rage in the billionaire superhero. Fueled by anger and a desire to have his weaponry not used by villains, Iron Man then dedicates himself to taking out every person who has been using the pilfered suit designs. This naturally takes a pretty long time, as it sees him taking out Doctor Doom, Crimson Dynamo, Beetle, and various other villains in order to take back what is rightfully his. Every single villain poses a legitimate threat to Stark, since they're all using basically the same suit as him, but he goes after them one after the other all the same. And through a variety of elaborate and dangerous maneuvers, he takes out literally every single one, proving that, above else, you don't mess with Iron Man. Number 2. BHANG Industries. While it's an admittedly small moment, the opening scenes of Tony Stark Iron Man really serve to establish the more humane ways in which Tony is capable of outsmarting the world. This is best shown in the hiring of Andy Bang, some years after absolutely crushing him in a robotics competition. Bang is smart, proud, and clearly still just a little bitter at Stark, which in any other circumstances would make him a prime candidate to become one of Iron Man's new villains. But because Tony appears to recognize this and wants to counter it, he instead finds himself in a cushy position at Stark Industries, where his genius can be used alongside the billionaire instead of against him. This moment does really seem to depict Iron Man starting to understand the trend that creates his rivals, and to counter it before it happens by bringing them into his fold. Number 1. Storing a backup of his own mind. Aside from the sheer irony of a series named The Invincible Iron Man containing Tony Stark being totally unconscious for a good portion of its run, the best part about the entire series has to be the big reveal about how this will be resolved, as we learn that Iron Man has prepared to literally bring himself back from the dead if needs be. This plan is detailed to the extent that Tony has prepared full written instructions for a surgical operation where his lungs are messed with, his heart is altered, and he's rebooted with a hard drive that consists of a literal backup copy of his entire nervous system and mind. It's never made quite as clear how close Tony considers humans to robots, and never so clear how much that helps him outsmart his own human limitations. When you have a full thought-out game plan for even a total coma, however, you know you're really preparing to outdo literally any scenario. And that was our list. If you have any other examples on hand about the times Tony Stark's outsmarted the world, then please do let us know in the comments below. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and please be sure to subscribe if you want more dedicated comics content every week. As always, I've been Ewan. Talk comics with me on Twitter @EwanRuinsThings, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!